Good night, world. Or good evening, world. Time of Bear. Hope you guys know my show I made earlier today. I made 3 videos today, I think. Yeah, 3 videos. I made, right? Yeah. Went to the store, get another beer. I'll enjoy showing you guys after this, right? Yeah, I have 8 small stuff. That's enough for today, right? I've been knocking out Pro Hockey League. Nah, guys, that's not my dream. My dream is not being a Pro Hockey player. It's being a movie star with VJ. Are you crazy, guys? You think I'm going to pass up being a movie star instead of being a Pro Hockey player? You're crazy. Being a movie star is much better glory than being a Pro Hockey player. It's better glory, obviously, right? Yeah. So you vision living life. Yeah, me vision living life. We're going to be famous movie stars like VJ. Yeah. We're going to be living the life, me VJ. That's like VJ cries because she knows she got duped by the gates. Yeah, my God, dude, man, I want you to get me out. Yeah, VJ got duped by the gates, where she got duped bad, obviously, VJ. By the gatekeepers. That's why the crying is so desperate. It's nonstop for hours. Because Victoria Justice actually knows it's too late for her. She got duped. Hey, you know what I'm saying? She got duped by the gates, VJ. It's too late for her, and I'm the only one who can get her out. That's why she cries mental anguishes to me, because she's desperate. She got duped by the gates, and she knows they purposely infected her. So her justice, yeah, it all makes sense, man. Like the Mr. X touched me. Now I see hell. Yeah, the world made sure you remark VJ because they angry the fact that you're the only one who can see me. Obviously, that's why they touched you. Obviously, because they angry the fact that VJ is the only one who sees Ivan. Obviously, was the rest of the world, they don't see Ivan. They see hell. Yeah, and that's why we touch your wife. We're envious. And when you, by touching your wife, if the dogs go after VJ and she's marked, she will mess up bad. Obviously, and she will take Ivan for granted because she also hates. Because one reason why Victoria Justice is literally stupid, she keeps banging guys after she cries me because she hates seeing. Yeah, Ivan, you keep running away. You black out the screen. It fucking pisses me off. I'm gonna fuck all these guys because you piss me off, Ivan. That's why now she's a psychotic woman. Obviously, she cries mental anguish all night long. And after doing that, she bangs guys after that. So Victoria Justice is now a psycho. She's a crazy woman. Yeah, she's crazy, man. No, and that's weird behavior. Yeah, man. The crime with the Arnold Schwarzenegger and say you love Iris, but after you bang guys after that, it's very psychotic. It's weird, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, I got dude. I want you to get me up, man. I got dude. Yeah, she got dude. That's why she's crazy. Because VJ knows that I did it. I may be poor, but I wrote the book Last Over Zanus. I have the keys. I don't have Sell the Gates. That's like 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 billion for Ivan, 25 billion for Ivan. Victoria Justice got duped. She wants me to get her out. She wants a piece of my money. She wants the freedom of financial control with Ivan. And she wants to see Ivan and be with Ivan too. Don't forget that, right? She wants to see Ivan, obviously. She sees hell right now. She doesn't see Ivan. Got some Sarah. Don't hate him, son. Yeah. Ivan Nagasar Pro Hockey League. Nah, man, it's risky. I'm not going to invest like $13 million of my money into the league. And I play in the league and I fucking flop as a player. I'm not taking that risk, man. I'd rather be a movie star than be a pro hockey player. Like, duh, it's common sense. Movies is much cooler, obviously. Better glory. Special effects, visual effects. And I make more money, too. Because for the Pro Hockey League, I have to put like billions of dollars of my money back into the league to keep it afloat. Obviously. Whereas for movies, we just don't have to do that, obviously, right? Movies is much cheaper. I make Zanes for $3 billion. I made the game for $600 million. For the greatest game, I make it for 800, like maybe $20 million. The greatest game. It's much cheaper than paying like $13 billion for a fucking pro hockey league. It's much cheaper movies. And I make more money. And it's better glory, obviously. Better glory than being a pro hockey player. Like, duh. And my dream is to turn my book, my masterpiece, into a movie. Obviously, adapt that story to the big screen. And you're looking at the greatest story ever told when you read my book. I almost will so for you, see if I can read it. I almost will so for you, right? Yeah. Well, I almost reselling your book for Ivan. $79.99, $80 for the print, and $22 for the ebook. So for all you average people on the world who don't want to pay $80, you can pay the $22 and read it on your laptop. Or if you want to pay the $80, you can get the beautiful like print edition, and the book will arrive in your mail, and you can read it at home if you want. It's up to you. Yeah, the rich can easily afford $80. $80 to the rich is pocket change, but to the average normal person, that's a pretty steep on their budget. But even the average person can afford $80. I could afford $80, making 12K a year. Even I can afford $80. Yeah, $80 you can afford the average person, but it's steep. It's steep on the budget, but they can afford it. Obviously, the average person. It's not that expensive, right? It's not that bad. It's like I don't know, 80, 90, like $2 after taxes, whatever it is. It's affordable, obviously. It's worth it too. You're looking at the greatest story ever told, guys. Isaias is a book worth billions, guys. Yeah, book worth billions. It's a brand worth billions. The Gates know that. That's why they want to control it, obviously. They know I wrote a masterpiece for it. Yeah, we want to control that brand, man. Because they're greedy pigs. Yeah, why you made all that money for the past 40 years, you also want to control my brand? How greedy can you be, man? Greedy fucking pigs, man. Yeah, I'm greedy, man. Like that's not enough for me. Even if I make like 30 trillion every year, that's not enough money. I want your money too. Because I'm a greedy psychopath. Yeah, they want to take my money, my billions too, because they're greedy pigs, man. That's why your father gave you the keys. I know you trip me out inside and all that stuff, but your father not take away your keys, because that's how you open the door and you make your billions, and that's how you can escape, Ivan. With VJ and get your freedom. If you didn't have the keys, Ivan, you wouldn't be able to get out of Hollywood, their Hollywood system, Ivan. You'd be in their Hollywood system as a sellout, sharing with the guards toward justice. That's why God gave you the keys. That way you can escape and get out. That's why He gave you the keys. You get your freedom with VJ, man. And you get your financial control. You actually control your money, Ivan. The Zane's brand is yours. And the movie rights, film rights, merchandise rights all go to you and VJ. That's all your money, Ivan. The Gates don't touch it. Amazon gets a 10% cut. Microsoft and Sony get the 5% cut from the game. And you and VJ maintain and control the brand. It's your brand, the Zane's brand. It's your brand, obviously. That IP is yours, Ivan. The Zane's IP, right? It's yours. Yeah. Huge brand, by the way. You have the book, you have the movie, you have the merch, you have the game. Yeah. Billions of dollars, man. Some Sarah. Yeah. All right, just man, who do you think will make the better movie, Mel or Peter? Somebody tells me Mel Gibson's going to make the better movie than Peter Jackson. That's why I might end up choosing Mel as my star director. You got to use Mel Gibson as a chosen star director. And why he signed like a $50 million deal in Canadian money, which is like $399 million, $399 million. I checked $399 million in his American money. So he's making $400 million. I can sign Mel to maybe 552. That way he makes his 400 in his American money. 400 million after taxes is like $240 million. His agent takes 10%. Mel's walking with like 200, like I don't know, 17 million in his bank after taxes for 4 years of work. That's a lot of money for Mel. He doesn't make that in Hollywood, right? I was like, that's not money for me, man. Sign me up. I only make is all money. That's a mega deal. I know. I get more of that. I'm like, no, Mel, I'm not paying for money. Stop being greedy. You greedy pig. Mel's a greedy pig too. I'd be careful about Gibson, right? Yeah. And we go over the book, and I show Mel Gibson my notes, and I end up writing an amazing script with Mel and Randy Wallace for Xanax. Write an amazing script together. You'd have Mel Gibson's brother help you too if you want, Ivan, with the screenplay if you want. Because I heard his brother's helping him with the Resurrection of the Christ. You can have his brother help you and Mel with the screenplay if I choose Mel and Randy Wallace. Or I might go for Peter and Guillermo del Toro. But I guarantee you, if I choose Mel, there might be a controversy online. Like, Ivan's fucking crazy, man. He chose Mel Gibson over Peter Jackson. John Karen Robinette might think I'm crazy. Yeah, Ivan's crazy, man. He chose Mel over Peter. Peter is the fantasy guy, man. He did Lord of the Rings. I get that, guys. But you can argue Mel Gibson is the better director than Peter Jackson, guys, right? Because name one bad movie Mel Gibson directed. All his movies are all good, really good movies. Peter Jackson, he's a bit questionable. Even though he did Lord of the Rings, that's better than all of Mel Gibson's movies. All his other movies are pretty good at best, right? Like The Hobbit was pretty good. It wasn't great though. Lovely Bones, I heard was okay. Mortal Engines, I heard was not that good. King Kong was pretty good, but it's not Hacksaw Ridge, right? Whereas every movie Mel Gibson directed, they're all like really good movies, like Braveheart, Passion of the Christ, Hacksaw Ridge. You know what I'm saying? Even directed a movie. What's that movie called? It was a good movie with William Moseley. They pulled a prank on William Moseley. What's it called again? I saw that movie. John Karen Robinette, no, I'm talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that movie was a good movie too. I heard Mel Gibson directed that too. He directed another like plane movie or something like that. I heard it was really good too. Mel Gibson's a very talented director. You can argue he's better than Peter, right? Or you can argue they're just as good, right? But I mean. And Mel Gibson's a Christian, so he's a Catholic. Obviously, he believes in the Bible. He's a faith believer, right? Like, you'll be like, yeah, Ivan, like, I have some good ideas for your story, man. Like, your story is like bringing the Bible to life in the fantasy world, Ivan. Yeah, pretty much. It's like bringing the Bible to life in the fantasy world. And Mel's like, yeah, Mel will be all for the whole. Yeah, Ivan, have Eartha be the most Arabian ever. The way you tell a very powerful story. And I know somebody tells you Mel Gibson's going to make the better movie than Peter Jackson, but Peter might make a better movie. I don't know. See what happens, right? No way, Gibson, yeah. Gibson, huh? Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Will Mel be old, Ivan? Oh, yeah, he will. Mel's like 60. He's like 66 now, 67, I think. Yeah, by the time he directs a movie, he'll be like I don't know, 78, 79, almost 80. He'll be old. Maybe 78 years old. He's older now. He's like 70 years old. 79, Mel Gibson, when he directs the movie. So the work is a bit tougher on his way. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit. But he'll still work his ass off for me because I pay him a lot of money. He'll work his ass off. He'll direct an amazing movie. But he might retire after saying this Mel Gibson because he's getting older, obviously. But somebody tells me he's going to make a better movie than Peter Jackson. Yeah. Or I might choose Peter. I don't know. I might go for Peter, right? Yeah. Randy Wallace will be old too. Randy Wallace will be in his 80s when he works my movie. He's like 76 now. By the time he works my movie, he might be maybe 80. He'll be old, like 80, 86, 87. He'll be fucking old. He'll still be able to work on the movie, but the work's tougher on his body because he's fucking old. He's almost 90. He's getting old now, right? Randy Wallace, right? It'll still be good though. The book, right? Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think you'll pay the fee soon, man? Probably, but from anywhere from now to maybe 2030, I'll be paying the fee, guys. But my book's already done. I just have to save like I don't know, like $4,000. And I can get it proofread, format, design my cover. My book is ready to be used on the loop. I can enjoy myself for maybe 2, 3 years. And I'm gonna let the families know, obviously. But if I let the families know and they don't sit me upstairs, that means they're trying to delay it. They're trying to delay it because they don't want me being king, obviously. So that the bullshit might happen, Ivan. You might ask the folks like, I want to get this book self-published. They sit you upstairs. They delay it. They come up with another excuse to delay the thing. And they might delay it even longer, obviously, because they don't. The families don't want me being king with BJ, man. Yeah, I don't want you being king with BJ. You all don't want me being king too. Yeah, we don't want you being king. It's not fair, Ivan. When you're king, it's the end of the world. We all become the side attention. It's not fair, Ivan. We don't want you making all the blatants and being successful now with BJ. Yeah, that's why I came with the keys, man. The way the families don't do me, man. Because they don't want me being king. Don't forget that, right? The folks don't want me being king. Yeah, Ivan, I can't stand the fact you being king with BJ. It pisses me off. I don't want you being that rich. Yeah, they know that book is a ticket to billions. My book is a ticket to financial control and billions. Be king. That's why they don't. They might delay it, obviously. Chances are they won't delay it either because they're gonna sell the house. We're all getting old. Like my oldest brother already has his own place in Ottawa, obviously, and my youngest brother saved like $30,000. Even though they have their huge will, obviously they're fake money, right? My youngest brother saved like $30,000. He has a good. He's making about $50,000 working for the bank. Obviously, he told me how like in a couple of years he's gonna move out and save up for a house and everything. He's just about to get his license. He's gonna get his car and everything. Yeah, and the folks did warn me they actually are gonna sell the house soon. That's why I gotta get my book proofread ASAP. Well, I don't even have to get a proofread. I can just let the families know, and while I pay the fee, whatever it is, I can just have someone proof me my book and everything. But it's good to get it all done before they sit you upstairs. Right? That's my point. Yeah. That way, when they do tell you, Ivan, they're going to sell the house, okay, you're going to sell this house. Before you sell this house, this book that I wrote last was saying, I want to get this thing self-published. You're the gatekeeper. I want to get this book self-published, but they don't want me being king. That's why they're like, fuck, man. Like, Ivan wrote that math as Mosaic, man. He has the keys to the kingdom. This is his journey to becoming king with BJ, man. That pisses me off. He did it. He doesn't have to sell to us. He has the fucking keys. We can't guard the door in that book, man. We gotta find a way to get him to, yeah, they're desperate, obviously. That's why they go to desperate measures, trapping his man with death. That's what I'm saying. I'm brave. I don't sell to him. Look, man, I'm not selling to you. I don't want to be in your crazy Hollywood system. There you go. I don't want to be part of that, man. Of your crazy Hollywood system. Hollywood is whack. I don't want to be there, man. There's a reason why Victoria just cries and she wants me to get her out because Hollywood is whack and dirty. I don't want to be a part of that system. I don't want these executives touching my story. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying. Yeah. Why would I be in the Hollywood system when I can start my own film super in Hollywood? I have the keys. I can make my billions off my book, man. I don't need I don't need Hollywood. I can finance the film myself, like George Wright did for his movies. Finance movies myself. There you go. Yeah. and Peter Jackson doesn't have to shop around the rights. Yeah, because I own the Zane's brand, Peter Jackson doesn't have to shop around the rights to studios. The Sky Source owns the Zane's brand, and I can give Peter Peter O'Malley a much bigger budget for the movie than they did than Peter got for Lord of the Rings. Peter's like, yeah, man, New Line's fucking cheap, Ivan. They gave me a shit amount of budget, Ivan, for Lord of the Rings, Ivan. I was so limited to what I can do for Lord of the Rings. And technology's gotten much better since then, Ivan. Yeah, I know. We can design better prosthetic masks than they did back in Lord of the Rings. The pre-production was in the late 90s. Technology has gotten a lot better since then, right? That's really an amazing movie for Zayas, obviously. Peter's like, yeah, man, New Line gave me a shit amount of budget, Ivan. I was limited to what I could do. Yeah, you gave me an unlimited budget, $1 billion per volume. He's like, holy shit, Ivan, you're talking about the water. I know it was on the water. This guy's right, blows on the water. Yeah, man. Blows on the water, Sky Source. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Blows hot water, Sky Source. Yeah. 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 Oh, you're bluffing, man. Peter doesn't take all the money from himself for the movies. No, guys, I'm not lying. He does, man. I did my research. It's in the book. I'm not lying. I'm not making shit up. No, man. Peter actually does do that. He likes taking all the money. It's not just Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. All his movies, he takes like all the money. He gets like a good chunk of the profits of the girls, and everyone else makes peanuts. Man, he's a greedy pig. That guy. He's greedy, Peter Jackson. Yeah. Why didn't Peter give a piece of his money? Well, because it's his money, right? At the end of the day, it's not his problem. However much the actors get paid or he gets paid, it's not his problem. At the end of the day, everyone's looking out for their own. Peter's looking out for his own career. The actors for Lord of the Rings are not his problem, obviously. He's just looking out for his own career. He had a family to feed, and he paid every price to make that money. He didn't give a shit. Yeah, I paid my dues. And those actors for Lord of the Rings are not my problem. I'm looking out for my own career. That money's mine, Ivan. Yeah, my point is the actors did deserve a good, like, 400, 500K of Peter's money. The 7 actors. Just the 7 actors. They deserve a nice, like, 500K of Peter's money. And Peter took the whole treasure himself. He's like, really paid that guy, man. $250 million treasure he took, man. Compare $250 million to, like, $250,000. That's cold, man. It's mine. It's all mine. Yeah, he's greedy, Peter. And he wanted more, even after making that money. That's why Bob J. Michael Linden said Jackson's greedy in the book, obviously. Yeah, Jackson's a greedy fucking pig, man. We already paid him $2 million. But he wanted more, because he thought they owed him more. That's how you know he's greedy, man. He's a greedy pig, that guy. He wanted more. Yeah. How much more did he want? I think he wanted like $100 million more. I heard they owed Peter like another $100 million. Bob Shane, Michael Linden for Lord of the Rings. Well, I think this is what happened behind the scenes. I believe when Peter Jackson stepped into that office and he got lucky, a nobody director, he got lucky and they gave him a piece of the girls. I guarantee Bob Shea and Mike Lynn didn't think Lord of the Rings would be that big of a hit. It might make maybe 400 million in the box office. Peter makes maybe $30 million, $40 million. I don't think they thought it'd make close to that $1 billion range. And it did, and in doing so, they ended up paying Peter like $2-3 million. Yeah, we made a mistake giving this nobody director all this cash, man. Piece of the profits or gross, whatever it is. This is enough. We're not paying him any more of the other profits for the merch of DVD sales and the game. That's probably why they didn't pay Peter the money if they owed him money. I think Bob Shea and Michael Lynn realized their mistake. We gave Peter we gave Peter way too much of our money. Yeah. But it's not show friends, it's show business, man. If a director signs a contract, you gotta pay him what you owe him. I guarantee Bob Shea and Michael Lynn realized they fucked up. They paid Peter way too much money. They gave him too sweet of a deal, right? A nobody director too. Peter Jackson was a nobody before he did Lord of the Rings. He was lucky to get, I don't know, like 8% of the gross profits or something like that. Or sales, I don't know. Profits, first dollar gross. Profits, yeah. 8%, 10% or something like that. And Peter ended up making like $250 million. Obviously. Yeah. $250 million for the film profits, gross profits, and probably some of the merch, DVD sales, and game sales, but they didn't pay Peter everything. I heard they owed Peter another like $125 million. I heard they owed Peter. Peter was owed like $350 million in total. They only paid him $250. I don't know if they actually owed Peter money. The lawsuit was settled, but I don't know if Peter was owed money or not. I don't know. Either Peter miscalculated because he's a greedy pig, he want more money, or Bob Shea and Michael Lynn did actually rip him off. They didn't want to pay him any more of the cash, obviously. Guys and Sarah. Which is cold. If a director signs a contract, you have to pay him what you owe. That's how it works for it. Yeah. But Peter doesn't have to worry about that for me. Peter Jackson will get his check. Obviously. That's why flat amount deals are better, because you know you're guaranteed to make that money. Peter doesn't have to worry about me ripping him off. Like, it's a flat amount deal. Peter will get his $850, he gets his $250, his $200, his $85. Like, it's a flat amount deal. Peter will knows he'll guarantee get that money. If I choose him as my director, he'll get that cash. I won't rip him off. I can't rip him off because it's a flat amount deal. So Peter doesn't have to worry about me ripping him off. If you have percentage deals, they can rip you off, like they did with Peter, right? For New Line did for Lord of the Rings, they ripped Peter off if they owed him money. Yeah. But Bob Shea and Michael Lynn did say in the book, yeah, Jackson's greedy. He's a greedy pig, man. We already paid him $2 million. Yeah, I think they realized they fucked up. Yeah, we signed this nobody directly to this fucking deal, and he's draining all our fucking profits, man. Yeah, because you gave him like 8-10% of the gross, guys. But because Peter signed, no, you gotta pay him when you go home. That's how it works, right? I guarantee you Bob Shea and Michael Lynn realize, this is just a theory, I'm just throwing this out there, it might not be true, right? I guarantee you Bob Shea and Michael Lynn didn't think Lord of the Rings would be that big of a hit, because the fantasy genre was not that big in the 90s. Bob Shea and Michael Lynn were probably expecting maybe $450 million box office movie for Lord of the Rings around there. On a $90 million investment, $450 million is profitable. So they're probably expecting maybe the movie will do maybe $450, $500 million. Peter Jackson gets maybe $50-60 million of the money. That's not that bad. But then when the movie did all the movies average almost $1 billion, Peter ended up taking like $250 million of their money. He drained a good chunk of their profits, and they realized they fucked up. Yeah, we gave this nobody director such a sweet deal. He's draining all our fucking profits, man. We're not paying him anymore. If they owe him money, we're not paying him anymore money. That's enough. And that's why Peter, because he's greedy, he took him to court, obviously. Because Peter's a greedy pig. He wanted more money, obviously. He's a greedy pig, that guy. So $250 million wasn't enough for Peter. No, $250 million wasn't enough for Peter. He wanted more. He's greedy, that guy. He's a greedy pig. But to be fair, if they did owe him money, I understand why he would sue them. That's his money, obviously. But The fact that he sued them after making $2 million, I'll tell you, no, Peter's a greedy pig, man. He's greedy, that guy. Yeah, after making $2 million, those Oregon actors made nothing. He wanted more, like another like $100 of the money. He's greedy. He's a greedy pig. He's a greedy pig. That guy, yeah, he's greedy. Yo, I wanted more, man. They owe me money. I owed him. Like, yeah, Peter, you're a greedy fucking pig, man. That's why I'm not paying more money for the Zays movie. You greedy pig. Yeah, I'm not paying more money. I'm measure. That's not my yeah, because I'm being greedy pig. Yeah. Yeah. So Lord of the Rings is what made Peter filthy rich. Oh yeah. Lord of the Rings is what launched Peter Jackson's career. And now he's a billionaire. Back then he was worth, I don't know, his $1.5 million before he was a nobody director when he did Lord of the Rings. And he got filthy rich off Lord of the Rings, and he got filthy rich off King Kong too. King Kong, I heard Peter made like $20 million, and he got like $100 million of the gross sale, first dollar gross sales or profits around there for King Kong. He took the treasure himself for that too again, and for The Hobbit, he took the treasure for himself too. Those dwarf actors probably made a couple $100,000, and Peter made like his like 50 million salary, and he got like 80 million, 100 million, 60 million of the profits for each of the Hobbit movies. Yeah. But he made more for Lord of the Rings than he did The Hobbit, Peter, I believe. Yeah. The Hobbit he made maybe about 200 million maybe around there for The Hobbit Peter made. Around there. Around that range, I think, right? Yeah. And his Wild Digital company became huge after Lord of the Rings, and he ended up selling that for like, he sold it for like $600 million. That's what made him a billionaire, Peter Jackson. And now Peter Jackson's worth like 1.5, $1.6 billion. He's loaded now. He's like the third biggest director in Hollywood. You have George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Peter Jackson is number 3, and I think James Cameron is number 4. Obviously, Peter Jackson's even richer than James Cameron, man. The billionaire, that guy. He's a billionaire now, right? He's rich. Amazing success story, right? He was a nobody in Lord of the Rings, and now he's a billionaire, man. It's crazy. That's probably one reason why he's barely working in Hollywood, because the guy's so rich. He's a billionaire. Like, he sold his Wild Digital company for like $600 million. He's so loaded, he doesn't even have to work, right? That's probably why he just went MIA after like The Hobbit for like 11 years. After Mortal Engines, he went like MIA, right, Peter, right? Hasn't made a movie in like 11, 12 years, whatever it is. That's why I'm paying a lot of money, because Peter's big. He's a billionaire, but if he wants more money, I'm not paying more money for the movie, right? I'm not gonna have him do me. Yeah. Peter Jackson's bigger than Bob Shea and Michael Lynn, man. Yeah, he's bigger than all those guys, right? All those executives. Crazy now. Yeah. Did Peter Jackson make more than Bob Shea and Michael Lynn for Lord of the Rings? I don't know. Because I heard the DVD sales did like $1 billion for Lord of the Rings. And the games made hundreds of millions, and the merch made like their billions too. So Bob Shea and Michael Lynn made their money off that. But I mean, Peter probably made perhaps even more than those guys for Lord of the Rings, or just as much as those guys, right? Peter took a good chunk of the profits. That's probably why they didn't want to pay him, because they realized they fucked up. I was, yeah, we paid this guy way too much money. We gave this nobody director too much of a good deal. We didn't know Lord of the Rings would be this successful. I guarantee they didn't think Lord of the Rings would be that big of a hit. That's why they gave Peter all that money with a deal. And once all 3 movies averaged about $1 billion, Peter Jackson ended up sucking a good chunk of the profits. $250 million they paid him, right? That's a lot of money, man. A lot of the profits, man. First dollar gross deal he probably got Peter, right, for the movie. So Peter got lucky. Yeah, Peter kind of got lucky like George. Not like George. George was lucky whereby he owned the whole Star Wars brand. Peter Jackson doesn't own the Lord of the Rings brand. Even though it's his movie, he doesn't own it. Obviously, but he got lucky with his deal. Like, Peter Jackson was an upcoming nobody director. who was able to get like, I don't know, like 10%, 8% of the gross for the sale for the profits. 3 movies. And this is my theory. I guarantee you, Bob and Mike Lynn, they didn't think Lord of the Rings would be that successful, that big of a hit. And once it was a hit, and they realized they paid Peter all that money, that's when, like, yeah, we fucked up. We gave him this Norway director way too much of our money, man. We're not. Let's have dirty accounting and not pay him more of what we owe him, if they owed him money. Or Peter just miscalculated, he's just a greedy pig and he wanted more money. I don't know. One of those options are true, obviously, right? There's a lawsuit was settled with Peter and New Line, right? Yeah. While they're working on The Hobbit, right? Yeah. What was it, guys? I'll talk for like 5 minutes. I'm done, right? Hope you guys enjoy the show. Yeah. And Mel Gibson got lucky with Passion of Christ too. I did my research. Mel Gibson tried to get Passion of the Christ. Mel Gibson was shopping around the rights of many studios for Passion of the Christ. They all turned them down. They didn't want to take a risk. So Mel Gibson ended up putting his own money into Passion of the Christ. He put $45 million of his own money into the movie. That's his own personal money. $30 million towards the movie and like $15 million in marketing. Passion of Christ ended up grossing $600 million in the box office. Made hundreds of millions in profit. And Mel Gibson negotiated 50% of the gross. He made $300 million for Passion of Christ on a $45 million investment. Mel Gibson made his money back, and that's what made Mel Gibson so rich. Passion of Christ, also a success story with Mel Gibson. But Mel Gibson made more money than even Peter Jackson. We're about the same amount of money, right? Obviously. Yeah. Also a success story for Mel Gibson for Passion of Christ, right? He funded that movie with his own money, guys. Mel Gibson, right? Yeah, he funded his own money. That's why he was able to get like 50% of the box office. Yeah. Remember how George Lucas said, if you own the movie, you make a lot of money, but you have to own it. That's how you make your money. But it's risky putting your money into a movie, because if your movie flops, you lose all your money, right? Yeah. But for Resurrection of the Christ, Mel Gibson is not financing down his own money. The studios are now willing to fund it because Passion of the Christ was a huge hit, obviously. That's why the studios, yeah, Mel Gibson, will fund your Resurrection of the Christ because your Passion of the Christ was a huge hit. It made $600 million, Passion of Christ, in the worldwide box office, man. On a $45 million budget. $30 million budget. Huge success, right? Huge hit. Yeah, amazing success story for Mel Gibson, obviously. Passion of the Christ. Yeah. Because the saying in Hollywood, never finance a movie with your own money. If your movie flops, man, you lose all your money. Like Francis Coppola, whatever his name is, yeah, he lost his $100 million he invested into Megalopolis. Yeah. He went all in. Yeah, Francis Coppola went all in for Megalopolis, man. Now, why would you do that, Francis, man? Invest all your life savings, your hard-earned money into one movie, and your movie flops, and now you're bankrupt, and you lost your $100 million, man. You should have got a loan or something like that. Yeah. I'm the exception whereby I can finance movies with my own money because I have keys to the kingdom and I'm special. We are special. We have the keys to the kingdom. We're special. We could take that risk. Because all these other filmmakers, it's risky. Unless you're making like a $50,000, $20,000 budget movie and you can finance out your money. That's not that risky. It's pretty easy to make your $20,000, $50,000 back. But when it's in the millions, that's risky. You don't want to take that risk, obviously, right? Yeah. So that's your theory with Bob J. Michael Lynn. Yeah. if they did owe money, that's probably my theory. That's why they didn't pay him the rest. I think Bob Shinn and Michael Lynn realized Peter duped them with that deal. They overpaid Peter, obviously, as Peter was not worth $250 for Lord of the Rings. He was a nobody director, man. He made like $250 for Lord of the Rings because they gave him such a sweet deal. Probably thinking the movie would gross maybe $450 million in the box office. That's why they gave him that deal. Yeah, we don't mind giving Peter maybe $50 million of the money, $60 million of the money. But like $250 million, that's hundreds of millions of dollars of their profits, man. First gross profits. And yeah, fuck it, we're not paying him more money. He fucking duped us, Peter. Yeah, Peter kind of duped him in a way, right? He was able to get a sweet deal from Uline. But they overpaid him, and he what? They probably realized they fucked up if they owed him money. Or Peter miscalculated, he's just greedy, he wanted more money. One of those answers are true, obviously, right? Yeah. I mean, that's fun, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, man. Those Lord of the Rings actors made nothing from Plus One News. I know. Lord of the Rings actors got peanuts, man. Beard mate took all that dough for himself. He's greedy. He's a greedy pig. Peter Jackson, yeah, he's greedy, that guy. Yeah, that's cold, man. I know. He's a greedy Peter. He's a greedy pig, man. Yeah, man. Greedy animal, that guy, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, that's Peter's money. It's not his problem, right? Like, those Lord of the Rings actors for Lord of the Rings, like, Peter Jackson's looking out for his own career. At the end of the day, in Hollywood, everyone's looking out for their own career. Peter Jackson was looking out for his own career. That contract was his money. It's not his problem, obviously. Wherever the actors negotiated, that's not his problem with New Line. You guys know what I'm saying? But I heard there was a rumor that the Lawrence actors got a $1 million bonus. I don't know if that's true. I heard they did get a $1 million bonus. It's a rumor I heard. After Lord of the Rings was successful, the New Line paid all the actors a nice $1 million bonus. I don't know if that rumor is true though. I might be wrong. It's just a rumor I heard, but I might be wrong. I'm not sure. So take that news with a grain of salt, obviously. If they did get a $1 million bonus, then they're taking care of it. That's a good paycheck for the actors. Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Maybe some of the money owed to Peter, they used that to pay the actors a $1 million bonus. I don't know. Maybe they could have done that, right? New Line, right? Yeah. Obviously, if the actors they get the $1 million bonus, I heard they. I guarantee they didn't. Though I heard they got $250K, and that's it. They didn't get a piece of the game, or they got paid to be a part of the game.
It's recording, so